I get asked a lot by parents all the time through DMs, through email, in person, when should I get started with potty training? And my answer is always tomorrow. Just kidding. Please don't get started tomorrow. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this mistake that I made. Oops. I got a DM from a parent that said, I'm getting started with potty training tomorrow and I really want some help. Can you help me? And being the person that I am and wanting to help everybody, I was like, yes, I'm going to help you guys. So I didn't ask very many questions, which typically I send an intake form, I gather information, I find out what they've done, I send them tips for preparing for potty training. I didn't do any of these things with the proper amount of time. So during the process of potty training, I was learning all the things that I typically would learn beforehand. I needed to ask this family if they had prepped their little one at all. Was she interested? Was she showing the readiness signs? Was she communicating her wants and needs? Was she following simple instructions? Had she had any exposure to potty training beforehand? I didn't ask any of those questions, so I didn't know. I only figured them out once we were in the process. So these are things that I want you to think about beforehand so that you can prepare your little one for potty training, and you can also be prepared yourself, because that is just going to take you that much further in the process. You're going to feel confident. You're going to have the tools to set your little one up so that they can learn to pee and poop in the potty. That's the goal, right? So when it comes to potty training and getting started, the first thing that you want to do is see if your little one is ready for potty training. Now, you'll hear a lot about potty training science, potty training skills that you need to keep in mind before you get started. Really, the most important are 4 potty training readiness skills. These are the most important because you want to make sure your child has those prerequisites so that they can build on them in potty training. If they're interested in potty training, that's a good sign, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're fully ready. Some readiness signs that people will talk about is your child interested in using the potty? Do they want to be a big kid? Do they take off their diaper? Those are all signs that might indicate that your child might be ready or interested, but really these 4 readiness skills are far more important. So I'm going to tell you what those 4 readiness skills are, and if you want the full list of readiness signs and skills, you can head to the link in the description to get the readiness checklist. It's totally free and it's all yours. We want to make sure that your child can follow simple instructions. We know that they might not always follow them, but that they understand how to, that they can communicate their wants and needs in whatever way that is for your child. We just want to make sure that they are able to communicate when they need or want something. We also want to make sure that they can physically sit upright in a comfortable position, and that while they're playing or while they're doing something, that they can sit in one spot for a few minutes. Now, I'm not saying that your child is going to be sitting on the potty for a long time. I don't suggest that you do long extended sits on the potty during potty training, but you do want to make sure that your child can sit there for a few minutes at certain times during the potty training process, long enough for them to learn how to eliminate a pee or a poop in the potty. So we have covered the readiness signs that are most important when it comes to your child's readiness for potty training, but what's also really important is your potty training readiness and planning for the potty training process, right? So as far as potty training readiness goes for parents, you want to make sure that you are committed to this process, that you know what you're getting yourself into, that you can stick with it, and that you're just going to go on this journey with your child, right? Now, you want to plan ahead of time. When are you going to potty train? How are you going to potty train? What do you need to do to prepare for that start date of potty training? Okay, so I want you guys to picture this. You are going on an airplane with your toddler for the very first time. You don't just throw everything in a bag and head to the airport and expect it to go smooth, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I don't think it would go very smooth with my toddler. So you're going to prepare, right? You're going to prepare yourself. You're going to have, even if it's in your head, a checklist of what is going to go in that bag. You're going to think about what activities you're going to bring on the airplane to keep your little one occupied. You are going to prepare your child for this new experience that they're going to be going through pretty soon. There's different ways that you can do this. You can talk about what to expect on the airplane. You can watch videos or shows of kids or characters going on an airplane and in the airport for the first time. There might be little songs that you sing to help prepare them. There are different things that you're going to do to prepare for this big first trip on an airplane, right? Not that potty training is the same thing, but when there's a new experience for your child, for yourself, for your toddler, you want to prepare for that, right? You don't just want to go in it willy-nilly expecting it to be this smooth process. Because like I said, if I took my toddler tomorrow to go on an airplane and did zero prep, I think we would have a disaster on our hands. Now, that doesn't mean it needs to be this extravagant experience of preparing for potty training. It doesn't. I don't want you to overcomplicate it. I don't want you to feel stressed about it. It's just some simple things that you can do during your day-to-day leading up to potty training to help prepare your child and to help prepare yourself. All right, so let's talk about some low-key things that you can do to prepare your child. Remember, we're going to keep it low-key because we don't need to overcomplicate anything for you, for your child. It should all be simple and easy and fun. So, kids love to read books, and there's tons of potty training books on the market, right? So these are a few of my favorites. We've got some Elmo, we've got some other characters. We want to make it fun. You want to read books that your child enjoys and just start introducing the concept of potty training. Books are a great way to do that. Some other things that you can do is pull up YouTube. You're already on YouTube, so subscribe if you want to go check some out and come back to this later. But you can search on YouTube for kids potty training songs. There's tons out there. There are silly ones. There are character from shows, Daniel Tiger videos and Elmo and all kinds of different potty training videos out there with songs and even episodes. So that is another great way to introduce your child to the concept of potty training. Another thing that you could do is pretend play, right? So if you have a little potty or you want to use the toilet, take your child's favorite little toy, stuffed animal, an action figure, a dinosaur, even a truck, a princess doll, a unicorn, whatever. Get that little toy, and while you guys are playing, just pretend like that toy needs to go potty. Oh, I need to go potty. And pretend, right? Like make it a game, make it silly, get on your child's level. You want them to have fun with potty training. This is a great way to do that. Another thing that you can do that's low-key prep for your child is an optional potty sit once a day at a routine time. So let's say every day before your little one gets in the bath, you say, hey, do you want to sit on the potty? This is low key and it's optional, right? So if your child's like, sure, the first time they might be like, sure, I don't know, I've never done that before, sounds fun, right? If they want to sit, awesome, have them sit, make it fun, sing some songs, be silly, whatever your kid loves to make this an enjoyable experience. If your child is like, no thanks, I'm good, that's okay too, roll with it. The idea at this stage is just to introduce potty and potty training and what this is all about without really the training part yet. We're just talking about it at this stage. One more thing that you can do to help prep your child for potty training is to let them join you in the bathroom if this is something that you're comfortable with. If it's not, don't do it, no harm. But if you are cool with that or they're already joining you in the bathroom anyways, then just kind of narrate the process a little bit. When you have to go potty, say, ooh, I have to go potty. Make an announcement, make it silly. Go to the potty. If they're joining you, you can have them help rip the toilet paper. You can have them help flush the toilet. Just little things to kind of expose them a little bit more to what this whole bathroom experience is all about. So now that we've talked about how to do some low-key prep with your child for potty training, we don't want to forget about your potty training prep. So one of the first things that probably comes to mind is what supplies do you need for potty training? Now let's keep it simple because I love simple. So there's really only 3 things that you truly need for potty training. You need some kind of toilet, you need something to wipe with, and your child needs some underwear because you're ditching the diaper. So those are the main supplies that you're going to need, right? But there are some other things that are helpful. So you're going to pick between a little potty or a regular toilet. I typically suggest always having at least one sit during the day that is on the regular toilet. But if you want to use a little potty, awesome, go for it. Just make sure that you're picking a little potty that you really like, that feels like it's going to be comfortable for your child, easy to clean, durable, all that good stuff. If you're using the regular toilet, you can get a little potty seat topper that makes the seat nice and small size for your little one's bottom, and a stool. You're going to want a stool if you're using the regular toilet so that your child can be sitting in an optimal position for peeing and pooping. We don't want dangling feet, although they're adorable and they look super cute. You want to make sure that your little one has stable posture while they're sitting. So we've talked about your little one and preparing them. We've talked about supplies, but what about your emotional state, right? We're parents of toddlers. We are already on a roller coaster every day. It's wild, right? It's crazy. We never know what to expect. You think you've got it together. Your little one throws you a curveball. That's just life. Well, potty training is going to kind of mimic that. So I'm sorry in advance, but you are probably going to go on an emotional roller coaster. There's going to be progress. You're going to see success, and then you might see an accident, and then you might start to feel like you are failing at this potty training thing. But I promise you are not failing. Of course, accidents are going to happen. They're part of the process. But sometimes when you're in it, it just feels like, wait, we were just making so much progress and now we're having an accident, and that can feel really hard. So if you start to feel that way, I want you to think back to this video and remind yourself, okay, this is part of the process. My child is learning a huge skill. Like, this skill is so big. They're learning how to pee and poop in the potty when they've been used to peeing and pooping in a diaper their whole life. They know nothing else. It's a huge skill. And you're brand new to teaching them this skill. So there's going to be some ups and downs during the process. So before you get started with potty training, I want you to really make sure that you're preparing yourself for this emotional journey, because you've got to stay strong through the process so that you can be that cheerleader and support your child through it. You can do it, I promise. There are going to be some hard moments, but I promise you can do it. Which kind of brings me back to that client that I was telling you about. She definitely went on this emotional roller coaster. And because I jumped at the opportunity to help her, because I wanted her to have that support that she was looking for, I didn't have the chance to fully prep her ahead of time for that emotional roller coaster that she went on during the process. Now, she was amazing because she had one thing that I want you to really think about before you get started with potty training. And what she had was trust in the process. She really trusted that she was going to help her child get to the other side of this potty training thing. Through the ups and the downs, when she would be feeling kind of defeated by the whole process, there was that layer of defeat that she felt, but there was also that layer on top of it of trusting that she was going to get to the end goal and that she knew she had the resources and support in place to get there. So when it comes to this emotional roller coaster, sometimes you kind of just have to ride that wave, or ride the roller coaster, I should say, while knowing that you are going to get to the end of the roller coaster, right? If you are not a roller coaster fan, or you are and you've ever been on one and you're kind of like a little bit scared, you think you might poop your pants in the process, you know that there's an end, right? And in the moment, sometimes it's hard to think about that because it's like this thrill, you're scared, there's all kinds of emotions happening, but you're going to get off the roller coaster eventually. Think of potty training like that. You've got to kind of ride the ride. There might be like all kinds of crazy turns and flips and things along the way, but there is a point where you're going to get off of this roller coaster. I promise. You're not going to send your child to college in diapers. You won't. So when it comes to potty training, I want you to make sure that you have a plan in place so that you can have a starting point, right? That's what we're talking about now, the prep process. And you know how to ride that roller coaster. You know what loops to expect and how to handle them, and that you know what the end point is and how you're going to get there. So it's really important to go into potty training with a plan. Even if you're kind of wing it personality and you like to fly by the seat of your pants and just go with the flow, look, I'm all for it. Go with the flow if that's really what you want to do. I just want you to know that if you go in with a plan, it's going to help you have a clear path to the end. Okay, so I feel like I just went on this emotional roller coaster just talking about it, and I don't want to scare you. You're going to do great, I promise. And you're going to do amazing because you're going to prepare, you're going to have a plan, and you're going to know what to expect. Now, you might have those moments when you're potty training where the panic sets in and you forget everything that you've been following and learning and doing. I want you to make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you can pop back over here when you need that boost of encouragement or that tip for how to handle a certain scenario, because it's going to come up. Potty training usually isn't super smooth sailing 100% because kids are kids, they're human. Curveballs are going to happen. Now that we've talked about preparing your child for potty training, yourself for potty training, getting all the supplies ready, we also want to make sure that other caregivers are prepared for this process too. So if you do have other caregivers that you work really closely with when it comes to parenting your child, I want you to make sure that you're communicating with them what you need to do when it comes to potty training. You're going to make sure that you are communicating with other caregivers about what everybody's responsibilities are during the potty training process, what you need from them, what you want them to help you out with, whose responsibilities are what. If you're going to be focusing on potty training and your other caregiver that's present is going to be helping with other responsibilities like other kids, make sure that you're clearly communicating that with them. If you guys are going to kind of tag team potty training, make sure that you have clear expectations for each other on who's watching your little one at what time, when you're switching, all that good stuff. You can have another caregiver help with meals and snacks. You can have them help with cleaning up an accident. There's lots of different ways to do this and to go about this, but you just want to make sure that you guys are on the same page and that there's clear communication from the beginning to the end. It can also be really helpful to have a friend or a significant other or somebody else to kind of lean on to give you those pep talks in the process when you feel like you need them. So if you have a trusted friend that you feel like is going to be that boost of encouragement, or your significant other is that person, whoever it is, it can be me, pop, over to my videos And you can just have that pep talk that you are doing a good job and you're going to get to the end. You also want to make sure that you know what the potty training requirements are at your child's daycare or school. This is really important because when you're done with your focused potty training weekend, you're going to send them back to daycare or school, and you want to make sure that everybody is on the same page there too. So it's really helpful to ask them some questions ahead of time about what they require, what are their expectations, how do they incorporate potty into their daily routine, so that you can know what they're going to do, and you can also then give them information on what's going well at home, how you're approaching potty training, so everybody can be approaching it the same with your little one. So to kind of wrap it all up, you're going to make sure that your child is prepared for potty training. You're going to make sure that you're prepared for potty training. You're going to communicate with other caregivers about the potty training process so that they are also prepared. You're going to go into this and you really want to make sure that you're committed to the process and that you know that it's not going to be necessarily smooth sailing. It's going to be that roller coaster. So go into it knowing that you can commit to following through with your potty training plan, that you can stick with it, that you can troubleshoot along the way, and that you know exactly how you're going to get to that finish line. All right, so you might be thinking, Sarah, you're talking a lot about how I should have a plan. Where's this plan? Please tell me how to potty train. You're in luck. Obviously, I thought about that. I have the potty playbook for you. It walks you through everything that you need to know for potty training. So if you want to get the potty playbook, head into the description and click the link so that you can get your copy of the potty playbook. It's a digital download and it literally covers everything that you need to know. Now, if you want a little bit of extra support and extra resources that will help guide your potty training experience, you can also join the Potty Hub and the Potty Chat. The Potty Hub is a place that has all these extra resources, scripts for what to say, checklists, template letters to send to your daycare provider to let them know that you're potty training, to let them know how it's going, all kind of resources in there. How to handle nighttime potty training, how to handle regressions, what to do if you're traveling. It's all in there. All right, so that's all we have for now. You should be able to go get ready and prep for potty training and be on your way to potty training success. See you next time.